Hi guys, I thought I'd do something a little bit different today with the videos that I've been trying to do amid all this coronavirus business, etc, etc. And practice is important, and whilst I've just been putting out a study here or there for you all to watch, or a couple of jets with Carol and I thought, why not stress the importance of practice and why we practice? Okay, so none of the studies that I've played or the duets that I've played are familiar to me. A lot of the time the instrument came out of the case and I just played through it. It's important that we warm up. I will do a separate video on warming up, but I wanted to talk about pieces, playing pieces. It's important that we play the stuff that we can't play, not the stuff we can. That's really important. Of course, playing the stuff you can play can lift your spirits, make you feel good about yourself, but we're not going to get any better. Test ourselves, push the boundaries. I have got a solo called Move Their Mind by a Belgian composer and cornet player, Stan Neuenhuis. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And he wrote this for the absolutely world-class euphonium player Glenn Van Looy, or Loy, however you pronounce it. He's a great guy, he's a fantastic player, a fantastic musician. I can't play this solo, but I'd love to be able to play it. Unfortunately, when I made the decision to step away from euphonium playing, it kind of got put in the back burner. So, I've been wanting to get to grips with it, and here it is. Move Their Mind, if the camera comes and shows you the first page. Lots of black notes, high, full range there on the very first page. Okay, so it's difficult. You can't deny that. How do we practice that? Okay, so you could just get stuck in right away, but I want to get the finger patterns right and just show you how to do that. So I'm going to take the tempo right down and play the very first phrase. That's the first phrase, under tempo. What if you're feeling a bit, ooh, I don't know about that, with the finger work? Give yourself some drills. So I'm going to dot a few and then reverse the dots. You'll get ba-dee-da-dum or ba-dum-ba-dum-bum, like that. Okay, so this is what we'll get. Okay, just a little bit of mixing up. It gets under the fingers and gets a bit more familiar. You could try this with a bit of articulation. There's a problem in itself. That last chromatic run, you really got to have good airflow to get up to that top F. So I'm going to take it from that bar, the third bar, and think about the airflow through the instrument. Really activating the air going through that last beat. Think about it, blow through the instrument as well. You can do that. Feel what that feels like. So. There we go. We'll carry on. Rhythm this time. We've got triplets and then straight semiquavers and then a sextuplet within semiquavers. It gets a bit rhythmical now. Good sound on the bottom notes. Carry on. Finger work this time. Difficult. You've got low pitches there. Different rhythms, and you've even got little micro rhythms, macro rhythms if you will, within the sextuplet. So I'll take that bar in particular, really slow, bar 10. You've got two series of sextuplets chromatically, then a slightly different pattern. So here we go. Fine. But then, do we go for groups of threes within the six, or do we drop it down into duples? Let's try it with threes on beat from beat 3. Keeps the flow, but then it gives it an extra bit of shape and energy if we drop it to duples. Finger patterns, okay, both have their merits. So I'm going to take it from bar 9 and go through to the first quiver of bar 11. And that's that phrase complete. We then come down towards the end of the section. We've got a couple of little gremlins here, very difficult, broken rhythms. And it goes on. Okay, so what we've got to do here is we've got to absolutely achieve the broken rhythms at about bar 12. We've got to get the articulations in bar 13, and then we've got to have full fat sound going from 14 through to the end of the phrase. So how are we going to do that? We've got to be really disciplined with the finger work in this particular bar. Okay, difficult. I'm using correct fingering as opposed to false fingering. Let's try false fingering. Okay, difficult. I'm struggling getting up to the top F there, so I'm going to have to think about the airflow. Let's shift that air. Okay, getting that. But now I've got to articulate that top F. So there we have it. That is the first 16 bars or so of Move Their Mind. Broken down, kind of like just highlighting how I might practice that. I'm going to now try and bolt it together and get to that point and show you kind of like if you were to persist with that type of practice, slow, flipping the rhythms, thinking about what the airflow is doing, seeing what we can get out of that. Don't judge me, it's a really difficult solo. I'm going to try and do my best. Here we go. Don't forget to empty your water onto your spit rags. Here we go. That's the first section. And then you might think it gets a little bit easier if you see the next phrase. Music develops the theme. If you show the camera onto the music and you think, okay, and ante now, crotchet equals 60, but we've got to have a long phrase length where that's what's going on. We've got a lot of intervals to negotiate, and those pesky semiquavers and semi-demiquavers come back. So we're thinking about sound and airflow. So the top D flat there, and on a euphonium, I think most people will say a D flat or a C sharp. It's one of the more difficult notes. Normally it's played on second valve, it can be quite hard to get. What's the difficulty there? Well, if we think about bar 29, we have this. You've got that F to a top A flat, okay? So you've got an interval of a tenth there to negotiate. How are we going to do that? We've got to have a good solid preceding note, and then we hinge and connect the air up to the top A flat. And that's the first hurdle, but we can get into that by simply playing that F minor descending arpeggio. We get this. We hear that, that's the tonality. We've got an A flat on the way down. If you're dubious about hitting the top A flat, keep that lower one in your mind. You've got it, and now we're going to connect the low F, the top A flat, with a hinge and shift of air. Okay, I could have been firmer with my valves, so I'm going to correct myself there and try and work a bit harder. And I clipped one. Oh well, these things happen. Think, how did it happen? Trying too hard. Relax. And then we've got to negotiate how we're going to shape the semiquavers. Definitely on those semi-demis we need some airflow. Okay, get that feeling right. And then we've got to get up through good airflow, long phrase up to the top B flat. Keeping that airflow going. So I'm going to play the whole andante phrase and then probably leave it there. Oh no, it didn't start right. What am I going to do? Going to think about it. Can you hear that note? Lom. Is that right? There it is. Hear the note in your head first. Okay, establish. Carry on. There we have it. So that's the first page of that solo that I'm kind of learning. And if I wanted to come back to it at a later stage or the next day, I would think, okay, as the music flies to the floor, let's just look at the next bit and we'll play through it once and then think about how we're going to tackle it. So to finish off, I'm going to finish this whole andante section for the second half of the theme, if you will. Here we go. And there we have the first two sections, if you will, of Move Their Mind, written for Glenn Van Looy by Stan Nieuwenhuis. If you want to have a listen to some of Stan's playing, some of Glenn's playing, get yourself on to Brassband Boezingen from Belgium, or Veleza brass band from Switzerland, a couple of references there. Both fantastic bands in different eras and really good music. Nigel Clark's music with Buzzingen a lot of the time. And Glenn, as I say, he really is a global superstar musician. Okay, so that's it. Bit of practice tips. Maybe the next video will be how to warm up. I might even do a duet. But guys, stay safe, keep motivated, stay positive. See you soon.